From my experience, I found that where a team is able to adopt test-driven development
Yes.
and really have the space to work on very clear testing plans that the client is bought into and the dev team have helped to shape, and that the QA team can work hand in hand with DevOps when it comes to the release pipeline,
Yes.
is massively useful. But so many times that doesn't happen. In your experience, coming from a client-side perspective, have you been able to work in that way, or have your team?
I see that as agile automation frameworks and adopting a style within the agile space, right, from a technical aspect. So TDD definitely requires a lot of discipline. I've seen it work in more of the smaller organizations and a team that's much more matured. Okay, when it comes to that, I think you look at having a common alignment across team members to make sure that this is the approach and this is what we actually going for. And sometimes that common understanding is not there. You write the test first to actually drive the development side of things, right? So I've mostly seen that work at smaller organizations, to be honest, and requiring a lot of discipline. Yeah. When it comes to more of your bigger organizations and your BFSI, if you like to call it that, that's where I see a lot of challenges when it comes to that, because you're dealing a lot in an integrated environment. You're dealing with multiple systems, and they all integrate together, right? So I think in that way, it becomes a little bit challenging to predict how that's going to go on, right? The other framework there is obviously the BDD style, and going down that path. That also requires another common understanding, and I see a lot of people using that style as more almost as an afterthought or later on in the process. It makes a lot of sense to use that style when it's happening from the requirement stage going forward, right? I've seen people actually, implement it midway through. So what I mean by midway through is like only at the development stage or only at the testing stage, which doesn't really make sense, because the whole thought about that, the behavior-driven style and approach, is to actually bake in your requirements in a behavioral-driven style, right? So I think that's the one challenge I see today. So once again, you need that alignment up front. You need people to be on board to say this is the way we're going, and make sure that the whole all multiple agile teams or technology, whoever adopts that in the right way. Yeah.
Behavior-driven development. Taking a team that can work very, very closely with your experienced design team, really looking at that customer experience from the beginning, and making sure that epics and user stories are jointly created, so that when you've got that acceptance criteria, it's baking in the behavior-driven focus of what is being developed and then how it needs to work when it comes to testing. Would you agree with that? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I fully agree with that, Rebecca. I think that's the ideal way, I would say, of working, and making sure that if we are going for a particular approach, that we make sure that everyone is on board, and we start it at the earliest possible outset, and then work forward in that particular way. It makes the team alignment and the delivery a lot more efficient, because everyone is on the same page when it comes to how we're delivering software. Yeah?
Check out my other videos exploring our real-world experiences, covering things like the dangers of imposing agile frameworks to choosing the most practical QA certifications for you. Thank you.